Hello travelers, apologies for the longer wait than normal for a new Universal Epic Universe construction update. I recently got back from a 7-day cruise on Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas out of New York City. During that time, I was having a blast with my family and a few friends. I was also working on some other content that will relate to that trip, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. After over 2 long weeks of waiting, we have another Universal Epic Universe construction update. More incredible progress being made in the How to Train Your Dragon land, with dragon houses being installed on the grandstands, as well as seeing Hiccup's Wing Glider coaster out for the first time, to the Pinnacle being installed on the top of Constellation Carousel, and more progress all around Celestial Park. Let's break down these new aerial views of Epic Universe provided to us during 2 separate flights by BioReconstruct. Starting off this Marathon Universal Epic Universe update, at the entrance to Epic Universe, there are several areas of rockwork being sculpted on either side of the Kronos Tower, which is the main entry gateway to Epic Universe and Celestial Park. Some of this rockwork appears to be complete and is ready for paint. There have also been several new concrete shapes formed inside of the entrance courtyard between the Security Plaza and the Kronos Tower. The size, shape, and location of these foundations are like other garden beds found throughout Epic Universe. As guests enter Celestial Park, they are met by the cascading waterfalls that feeds the fountain basin at the base of Atlantic Restaurant, where this update we have 3 sides of glass now visible. On the other side of the bridge separating the first and second fountain of Celestial Park, Constellation Carousel is seeing a lot of work going on inside of the main dome. A raised circle has been installed on the carousel platform, along with several new vertical supports around the edge of this platform. Not only has a cupola been installed on top of the dome, but now the pinnacle has been installed on the cupola, topping off the carousel. Inside of the fountain, where Constellation Carousel sits on the edge, painting has begun inside of the fountain basin. The basin is being painted the same blue found in the basin next to Atlantic. Foundation work continues around the newly started quick service dining location projects outside of the How to Train Your Dragon entry portal. We can now see several areas where electrical conduit and piping are sticking up out of the foundation, being prepared for the next stage of construction. Just next door, at the dueling launch coaster of Starfall Racers, there has been a lot of work outside of the coaster station where the extended queue area is located. We can see a large area of conduit being placed and buried before concrete is poured, connecting the already placed section of queue area that has been present for quite some time and the newly poured section of queue. Outside of the entry tunnel to Starfall Racers, some of the protective covering over the courtyard has been removed. This is likely just for some finishing work and will be replaced soon to prevent any unwanted damage to the decorative concrete. In front of the coaster around the Comet and where the coaster trains travel at each other head-on, we can see the rockwork that has been preventing the green track of the coaster from testing has been fully painted to match the rockwork at the base of the Comet. With the completion of this painting, we should see the plastic removed from the green track of Starfall Racers and ride testing beginning shortly. This will give us our first look of these coasters racing each other as they are designed. Both Oak and Star Tavern and Meteor Astropub are seeing the beginning of their exterior theming begun in different areas of the buildings. Between these 2 locations sits the kids' splash pad of Astronomica, where rebar is placed around the water nozzles, indicating that the final concrete pour is imminent. Just behind the main show fountain, new trees have been placed along the walkway separating the main fountain and the Helios Grand Hotel, located at the back of Epic Universe. This walkway can be seen stretching from near the exit to the new Wizarding World, all the way to the entry courtyard to Dark Universe. These pathways are taking shape, especially around the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant, where there have been several trees added as well. Inside of the waterfall in front of the Blue Dragon A large area of rockwork has also been completed, waiting for paint. Overshadowing the Blue Dragon sits the Helios Grand Hotel, where out back in the resort's pool area, waterproofing has been installed along with rebar on the floor of the pool in preparation for concrete. Next update, we should see the base of this pool in concrete for the first time. Looking inside of the walls for the pool bar, we can see shaped walls beginning to form between the vertical beams. On the roof of the resort, there have been several corrugated metal pieces installed on the main dome. There are several additional pieces staged nearby, indicating that the dome may not be glass like some people originally thought. Just below the main dome, where the lounge is located, there are vertical steel beams installed on the edge of the hotel. This is likely where glass will be installed as an overlook into Epic Universe. Also off of the side of the lounge, there has been an interesting circular frame installed on the edge of the roof of the resort. In the shadows of Helios Grand Hotel sits the darkest land within Epic Universe, being the land based off of Universal Monsters' Dark Universe, where the portal courtyard has seen several new details added, including a green ring around the outside of the patterns. Just behind the entry portal before guests enter the village, trees have been planted behind the crypt, giving the final visual barrier before the grand reveal of the village. Inside of the village, thought to be named Darkmoor, the grand reveal of the village building fronts has taken place. The majority of the scaffolding on both sides of the village have been removed, leaving the uneven Gothic-style buildings that match ones found throughout Dark Universe. Along the roofline of the village, we can also see discolored shingles, representing repaired shingles over time. Along with the walkway preparation in the streets of the village, there are several foundations taking shape that are similar to other gardens found in Dark Universe. Towards the back of the village streets, there is concrete being poured that can be followed all the way to the back of Dark Universe around the various attractions. Just after guests exit the village, they are met by the large Gothic manor that holds the feature ride to Dark Universe. The Gatehouse Courtyard has seen extensive work being completed in the last couple of weeks. In this view, we can see how the courtyard will look as though it is made up of individual stones. The entire courtyard has since been covered in plywood to protect the walkways like the rest of the walkways found around the land. These walkways can be seen connecting everything from the manor to Curse of the Werewolf to Burning Blades and other locations around the back of Dark Universe. This is the furthest land in all of Epic Universe when it comes to guest walkways being completed. Right at the entrance to the manor, we can see the vertical stones have been placed on the newly constructed walls and are awaiting their final coat of paint. These stones are identical to the ones found on the bridge, as well as out back in the overflow queue area. Inside of the queue area to Curse of the Werewolf, we can see a newly placed and uncovered wagon. This wagon has been placed right at the entrance to the queue, where guests will enter the standby, express, or single rider lines. It is likely the wagon will play a role in the entrance to the coaster. Just next door to Dark Universe sits the wonderful world of Super Nintendo World, where trees have been planted on either side of the entry portal to the land. The majority of the progress in this land of Epic Universe is in the back, inside of the Donkey Kong Country area. But there are still some notable changes to go over inside of the Mushroom Kingdom. Starting with Yoshi's Adventure, the ride vehicles are once again uncovered, leaving me to believe that the temporary covering was just for some weather that was moving through Orlando at the time of the last update. Since last update, the remainder of the Concorde has been installed just off of the ride. This has left many Super Nintendo fans very excited that Universal is incorporating the 3D characters into the ride. Just next to Mount Beanpole sits Bowser's Fortress, where most of the turrets have been painted in the gray base coat that has been seen all around the land. On the bottom level of the Mushroom Kingdom, there has been more activity around Toad's Cafe, where a new entrance feature has been installed on the facade of the entrance. Also, on the bottom level, we can see the first concrete pour preparation beginning. This should lead to more to follow in the coming updates, giving this level the more complete look that the rest of the levels already have. Located in the bottom of the Mushroom Kingdom sits the entrance to Donkey Kong Country, where the majority of the work has taken place since we last checked in. Several areas of trestle have been added along the coaster tracks, most notably around the final brake run. Near this brake run is the color-coded rockwork near the splash portion of the coaster, where it seems the painting is nearly complete. 2 screaming pillars have also been added just beyond the brake run on either side of the track. Behind the load station building, the barrel has been painted and is being prepared to be installed at the top of the lift hill. The crane set up next to the barrel will soon lift it into place. New wood planks have been installed along the lift hill as well. On top of the lift hill, the framing that will hold the golden head is now being painted gold. We should soon see that golden head installed high above the coaster. Just before the coaster enters the coaster building, a new character has been added to the right side of the tracks. Later along the coaster tracks, there is a new foundation being prepared, which is likely for more theming that will be installed later on this summer. Transporting from the playful world of Super Nintendo World over to the magical world of the new Wizarding World of Harry Potter in the streets of Paris, there have been several new paintings found all across the land. The concrete street that has been poured for the last several weeks from the Ministry of Magic ride has made its way to the intersection of the 5 Parisian streets. In that intersection, tent poles have been placed in concrete forms for an upcoming pour to set those poles in place permanently. In the upcoming updates, we should see the frame for this tent come to life as the concrete streets surround the intersection. Along the rooftops near the intersection, we can see several areas where chimney pots will soon be installed. Some of the chimney pots have already been installed, and the remaining can be seen staged nearby. The work on the rooftops goes hand in hand with the removal of other scaffolding around the building facades around the streets. Next to the Wizarding World is once again the most talked about land in terms of visual progress in all of Epic Universe this week. That would be the How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Burk. Just outside of the land's entry portal, 2 new octagon foundations have appeared. Looking at these in their current state, it is hard to tell what they will be used for, but gardens or kiosks is the more than likely candidate. The first dragon houses that we saw in a staging area several weeks ago can be seen installed on the side of the grandstand that the land's coaster flies through along its tracks. Several of these dragon houses have been installed on both sides of the grandstand. The grandstand framing appears to be complete as well, which is all but confirmed with the installation of these dragon houses. We also have our first daytime look of the coaster train for Hiccup's wing gliders, as well as some daytime footage of the coaster in testing. In front of the grandstand sits the spinning flat ride of Dragon Racers Rally, where the queue entrance structure has been started and is now surrounded in scaffolding. Next to these rides is the quick service location of Grog and Gruel, where the scaffolding has been completely removed from this location, giving us our first unobstructed view. Nearby at the kids' play area of Viking Training Camp, the first large-scale concrete pour of the foundation has taken place. The second pour is now in progress of being prepared currently. The theater show named The Untrainable Dragon has had new trees planted near the entrance, giving a visual barrier for guests to the rest of the land. Just outside of the entrance to Mead Hall, which is the land's full-service dining location, the Viking and Dragon Village is beginning to take shape. Several new, large log structures have been erected along the edge of the lagoon, matching the renderings that Universal released a couple of weeks ago. There is also a large number of staged logs near the village to be installed very soon. Spitfire Grill is the land's other quick service dining location where fake trees have been installed on the roof, giving the location the look of being built into the ground, similar to Mead Hall. There have also been a number of concrete forms placed across from the grill at the edge of the fire drill lagoon. This is where the large covered seating area for the dining location will be. Inside of Fire Drill, the lagoon continues to be full of water, and 2 additional boats have made their way into the service channel, joining the one that has been present for the last several weeks. If you are looking for a more detailed look of How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Burk, be sure to watch this breakdown of the land that Alicia from Theme Park Stop posted. She goes over, in detail, each attraction, as well as some other rumors that Universal has yet to confirm or deny. Do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss the next Universal Epic Universe construction update. And as always, a big thanks to BioReconstruct for the aerials once again. Until next time, travelers, have a great one.